So today's video is a sequel to my previous video about whether you should do a master in science or an MBA after your bachelor's degree. So here I'm going to propose something which is often done by students, especially students from different countries who go to the US and pursue their further professional life. So this theory is that you should do a master's degree in science and technology and then work for a few years and then do the MBA degree. So I will discuss some of the advantages of this particular theory which you can use in your professional life. So why this theory is useful is that today the technology world has become very complicated and the level of technology and the depth of technology has become quite deep. So if you want to master technology and you want to work in a high-tech company, then I think you need to have a master's degree in technology. And this is particularly important in so-called big tech or companies dealing with software, machine learning, search, but also all kind of technology, whether it has to do with the oil sector, the pharmaceutical sector, the mechanical engineering fields, chemical fields, and so on. So essentially what the master's degree in technology will help you to do is to fill in all the gaps which you may have had in your BS degree, and also to develop some expertise in terms of research which you may do as part of your master's thesis program. Now, one more thing which you can use the master's degree for is to move to a different country or to a different and better institution. So if your BS degree is from a regular ranked institution, you can use this chance to get a master's from a top level institution, or if you are in a country where the professional prospects are somewhat limited because of the size of the GDP, then you may move to a country with a higher GDP and you may do a master's degree there. And this will essentially help you to make this particular process more easy, because it's easier to get funding and financial aid for a typical MS program in technology or an MSc or M.Tech program in technology than it is to get financial aid for an MBA. Now, once you have completed this particular master's degree, I suggest you go for a job and you work for 2 to 3 years in the corporate sector. And during these 2 to 3 years, you can learn a lot about the way the businesses work, the typical political and psychological and sociological structure of different institutions. And also you can use this time to prepare for examinations such as GMAT and get a very good score in this GMAT test. Now there are two possibilities. You can do an MBA degree part-time. So this is possible in many institutions, and if there is a top university in the place where you are located, you can do this MBA degree right at that university, taking advantage of classes which are held during the night or weekends. And there are also some universities which typically give online degrees, so you can check out whether the online mode of teaching is suitable for you or not. And again, there are pros and cons for doing a degree on the computer, because while you may have access to a lot of good material from the professors and teachers, you may not get access to your class. And essentially one of the big advantages of MBA degree, or in fact all degrees taught in colleges, is the access you get to that network which you develop through your class, and this is something you need to keep in mind. Now of course there is also the possibility that you get a high GMAT score and you may get to a top institution, and again, as far as the MBA is concerned, I recommend you do this from one of the top 10 or 15 institutions, because the payoff is going to be much more if you do it from a top institution. And the reason for that is that as far as MBA degree is concerned, a lot of learning takes place in the class. The professors facilitate this classroom learning, but there are people in the class who have a lot of expertise and have worked many years in the business, and through the sharing of this shared knowledge, a lot of learning can take place in the class. Also, the network you develop at this stage is very useful for you in terms of future job prospects. And also, there are many top consultancy and finance companies which essentially visit the top business schools, and they try to recruit people from there because there is a kind of coterie or cabal of graduates from the top places who seek people from those same top places. So this is something you can use when you are working at a top institution or you are studying at a top institution. Now, once you have done this MBA from a top university or from a college nearby, which is also a good college, there is a very high probability of landing a job which is a top job in a technology company. And if you see the experience of many people who are working in the big tech companies, they have essentially followed this kind of path of doing a bachelor's and a master's degree in technology fields, and then working for some time and then getting into the business path. So again, as I have discussed before, you can go up in the corporate ladder very quickly if you have done one of these MBA degrees from a top institution, because you have a blend of technology skills, strategic management skills and management skills which are very rare and which are hard to find, because essentially people are expert in one of these two aspects. So there are people who are experts in technology, and then there are people who are experts in the pure business aspects of finance and human resources and things like that. And it's very important to have people who are masters of both these fields, and so this is particularly a good field to consider. So again, these were some of my concepts about the particular career path of doing bachelor's and master's in technology and sciences, working for a few years and then doing a master's in business. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Stay tuned to my channel for more videos on such topics. Thank you very much.